Hi, this is Coach Laura with D3 Multisport, and this is my husband Ryan. He's going to be helping me with some exercise demonstrations for this video. And today we're going to be talking about in-season strength training. So as your season progresses from less specific in the off-season to more specific as you get towards each race, you want to be actually doing the opposite with your strength training. So your strength training gets less specific. So I would say about 6 to 10 weeks out from any major race, you want to start changing up your strength training a little bit. And today we're going to talk about 3 keys to how you'll be doing this in season. The first key is maintaining mobility. So the first exercise that we're going to do that talks about mobility has a lot to do with, the best example is being in an arrow position on the bike. So when you're bent over like this, the more and more time you spend in this position, as you're getting more race specific, your hips have this limited range of motion in that position. So this first exercise is called a seated hip CAR, and CAR stands for controlled angular rotation. So Ryan's going to get on the mat, and you're going to have your feet out with one in front and one back. Just the one further back.
It doesn't go much farther back.
Doesn't go much further. So what you want to do from here is simultaneous. So the hard part is lifting and lowering your knee and your foot at the same time. So you want to pick them up at the same time, bring them all the way out in front of you, and then bring it all the way back and tap down your knee and foot at the same time. Progression 1 is what Ryan's doing, where he has his hand on the ground, so he's supporting his upper body. Progression 2 would be to pick your hand up off the ground, so it's a little bit more core. Good with that?
No.
And then progression 3 would be to grab a weight and hold the weight up as you do it, and that would just be to add a little bit more core stability as well. So while he's getting stronger, more mobile hips, we're going to go to our second key, which is to do full body multi-joint exercises. So the reason why you want to do this is as you start to do the same movement patterns over and over again, so swimming, biking around in the same movement patterns, you want to make sure that you can recruit as many muscles as you can for those exercises. And what that'll do is it'll help prevent overuse injuries to any key muscle groups. So this exercise, you're going to grab a weight, and even on the easiest progressions of this one, you can use a light weight. I usually like to use a medicine ball, but today we have this weight right here. So you're going to hold it up. This is called a wood chopper, and you want to rotate down on the outside of one knee, you do one side at a time, and up on the other side. So as you're doing this, you want to focus on keeping your joints steady. So you don't want to see a lot of movement in your knees. You want to focus on keeping them still as your hips stay still as well, and you just move your upper body. The second progression of this would be to do a single leg wood chopper, so even more stability in your joints, even better for your joints. One leg at a time. You might see a little bit more movement in your knee when you do this. Down on one side, up on the other. We're going to go down on the outside of the knee that's standing. All right. And then our third key is you want to move in the frontal plane. So when you do triathlon, you're only ever moving in the sagittal plane, hopefully, which means forward. So frontal plane means you're actually moving laterally, side to side, and all that does is it helps balance out your muscles so that those, again, don't get any overuse injuries by just moving forward. And again, we're preventing injuries and just supporting what we're doing with swimming, biking, and running. So our last exercise is going to be side lunges. The very first progression of side lunges, you don't need any weight for this. You just step to the side and back. You could do all one side at a time, or you could go side to side. A couple things you want to be careful of is your knee might have a tendency to come forward over your foot. You want to make sure that you're sitting your hips back, and that'll help you engage your glutes a little bit better. And that's good. And then second progression would be to grab a weight. If you hold the weight up, that'll help engage your core a little bit more and keep your upper body more upright. So hold the weight, go. There we go. And then the third progression is we have a slider here today that you can use. But if you don't have a slider and you want to do this stuff at home, you could do it on any hard surface. Any hard surface with a sock. And that should be slippery enough to slide your foot back and forth. So with the slider, you're just getting a lot more work done through the entire range of motion of the side lunge. So Ryan's going to demonstrate this and see how this goes. So don't go too far. Start with some little ones. The other thing that he was doing is is going over a little bit too far. So this front leg, as you're sliding, you want to make sure this leg is actually straight back as you pull it over. So this doesn't go over. And again, your knee is going to try to come forward, so just be careful of that. So we're going to work on those. And just to recap, our 3 keys are: you want to maintain mobility, you want to do multi-joint whole body exercises, and you want to move in the frontal plane, and that'll help you support your swim, bike, and run throughout your season.